Hospitals. It is the place we go to when we are sick. It is the place we go to when we need medical attention. It is the place where new life is brought into the world. But growing up, that wasn't my first impression of a hospital. I saw a hospital as a chaotic, uncontrolled, and crammed place. A prison. I didn't understand why people went there when they had a perfectly fine first aid kit at home that could heal any injury. I saw it as a place of horror and torture, like a deep, dark dungeon. It was a building filled with scary masked, white-gowned doctors and nurses running around as if they were part of a haunted house. The traumas coming into the emergency room and the screams of injured patients made it seem like it was part of a scary movie. This was the place where they took your blood and gave you shots that hurt for days. There was never a quiet moment at the hospital, not even in the middle of the night. It was 11 o'clock at night, and my dad pulls up in this new and foreign emergency room. I have never seen this one before, yet I have been going in and out of hospitals around the city for the past few years. From a distance, I see a sign that was calling out to me. It said, St. Mary's Emergency Room. The car was parked outside of the entrance, and my mom says to me, "Go inside and get a wheelchair for Grandma." Entering this unfamiliar place, I walked through the automatic double doors and went to the window. I approached the window, and a million ideas were running through my mind. What if she says no? What if she needs an adult here? What if she kicks me out? When I got to the window, the nurse says, "Hi, how may I help you today?" I stuttered as if I forgot how to talk and said, can I, get a wheelchair for my grandma? She's, in the car right outside. A minute or so after, a nurse came out with a wheelchair. Moments later, I was back at the window, but this time I wasn't scared. She asked, "What brought your grandmother in today?" I said without hesitation. Her abdominal area is distended and bloated. She complains of discomfort around the heart and diaphragm. She's experiencing loss of appetite and has an unstable blood pressure. They checked her in and brought us into the room. There we waited. It was like any other typical patient room. There was a whiteboard to note what tests were going on, signs, a million information cards scattered over the table, machines with tubes and wires tangled up, and occasional beeps that seemed to come from the room, but you can't identify where. Hours and hours passed by before the test came back. While they took CT scans and x-rays, we sat outside waiting and anticipating what was going on. When they were done, we went back to the room and continued the waiting game. As we sat there in the middle of the night, wanting to fall asleep, suddenly we hear a gentle knock on the door. The doctor had a worried face when he came in, but I couldn't decipher what was wrong. He asked me, "Are you the family of the patient?" I quickly replied, "Yes, I'm her granddaughter." He said in a calm but serious voice, "We found a tumor inside your grandmother. Were you aware of this?" I looked to my mother and said, "No, we were not aware of this." He then told us he was going to run more tests, take a biopsy, and diagnose it. About 2 hours passed before he came back. He said, "Your grandmother has advanced stage 4 ovarian cancer." At that moment, I was in shock. I wanted to run outside and cry, but instead I stood there frozen with a blank face. I had questions I wanted to ask. I wanted to scream. I wanted the doctors to tell me they misdiagnosed it. I wanted this to be a dream and to wake up at this moment in the comfort of my bed. I wanted everything to be okay. After he told us, he left. Then the nurse told us we had to wait till the next morning to see another doctor. My grandmother was admitted and I left because I had school. Went home at 5 a.m. and sat in my bed thinking. It felt so impossible to me. She didn't deserve this. I wanted to be able to do something for her, to get rid of that tumor, but I couldn't. When you see someone you love so much suffer from something out of their control, it changes you. Hospital. Something I grew up fearing is shaping me into what I want to become. Being constantly exposed to doctors and hospitals, I have seen traumas that are imprinted into my memory. Though I want to forget them, they motivate me to pursue a career in the medical field. Looking through all the experiences and influences, I knew that one day I wanted to become just like them and help as many people as I can.